Hi everyone, we are today with Rod Begbie, ex-engineering manager from Dropbox, and we will go through the mentors Q&A. Let's go with that. First, an easy one, your favorite content and why?
Sure. So I would say my favorite book is The Manager's Path by Camille Fournier. I think it's a great book that kind of helps you explain how you grow from being an engineer to a tech lead, to a manager of managers, and kind of take you through each step up to being a startup CTO. And along the way, really helps answer the questions you may have and give you a sense of what comes next. What's the next set of challenges you'll have to deal with.
Great. What about your favorite app?
Favorite app is Trello. I think I really like the way it is flexible and you can make it work however you want it to work. And so, being able to use columns and labels and assign things and then move them around as you see fit is really great and works for so many different types of teams and types of working.
Great. What about your reference leader?
So my friend Kellen Elliott McCree, who was an architect on Flickr back in the day, was the CTO at Etsy for many years and is currently at Dropbox. He's someone who I think does a really good job of the systems thinking, both from a technology perspective as well as from a people perspective. And so someone I've learned a great deal from and continue to look up to. So yeah.
Great. What you learned from him?
I think the biggest thing I learned from him was that the way you structure your teams and the way that you think about the people on them can have a really big impact on the work they produce. I think he also was kind of a leader in pushing the idea of blameless postmortems. Culturally, the idea that mistakes will happen, and if you blame people for them, if you make people feel bad for making mistakes, then they will make them and keep quiet about them. Whereas instead, if you discuss them openly and try to learn from the mistakes and understand that people aren't doing things maliciously, they're doing what they think is the right thing to do, is really valuable.
Sure. What do you think is the number one skill to become a successful leader in technology?
I think that it's the combination of being able to think about technology at scale, and then but also keep your mind on the people and the local your teams. How are they doing? How are they working? Being able to keep that balance is really important. Yeah.
So you have been the engineering manager for many years, but you have been also CTO. What do you like most of being a CTO?
I think it was the pride in building, not just building the software and building the systems and scaling that up, but then also building your team and building the culture that you were proud of, the one you wanted to work in. And so being able to build great technology by hiring smart people and giving them the room to do it, and finding out that they were all smarter than me in all kinds of ways was really satisfying.
Great. And now a tough topic, which is the biggest challenge you have faced being a leader?
I think the biggest challenge I faced was learning not just to tell people what to do and assume I was right, but actually lead by setting direction. So instead of saying, okay, here's what we need to do, and this is how we're going to do it, and I want you to do this, and you to do this, and you to do this, which I thought at the time was how you are a leader. But instead, hey, here's what we're trying to achieve. Here are the problems we're going to face. Here's what's hard. How are we going to do it? And switching to that mode where it's like, how are we going to do it? How am I going to help you do it? And realizing that was my role as a leader, I think that was tough. I got that wrong for quite a while. And when I was able to switch, I really saw the light of day. That was a really big moment for me.
So the takeaway of that experience?
The takeaway is don't assume you know everything, and that, you know, being a leader is being 100% right and telling people what to do, but instead give people the problems to solve and be there to guide them, be there to help them. That way, you know, the brain power of your team is going to be better than the brain power of you alone.
Great summary. So, final question. The one single tip you would give to aspiring CTOs?
The biggest tip I would give is to make sure you have a social group of CTOs, people going through similar things, that you can be honest and open with. When you're a leader, and especially when you are a CTO, you feel that you have to always be positive, always be putting the best spin on things, both for your team internally, making sure they are confident that you know what you're doing, as well as externally to other people to, you know, like, oh yeah, we're doing great, oh, we're killing it. You're always in that kind of a mode. And you need to be, that's part of the job. But making sure that you have some people you can talk with and be honest with to, you know, talk about what's difficult. I think that's really, really important because, you know, being able to be honest and hear from them the problems they're facing, talk about things like, you know, a frustration you're having with your CTO or a challenge you're having with someone on your team. You know, these are really important things to be able to have outside perspective on. So look for that group of people. It can be, you know, 2 or 3 people, but if you have them, they will make your life a lot easier and increase your chance of success.
So let's go with the technical question in your area of expertise. And in this case, I choose to ask you about team organization. Mm-hmm. So how do you ensure that you have the right organization to get the most out of your team and to release their full potential?
Yeah, no, when I first joined Dropbox, the group that I took over, I had a lot of engineers, I had 14 or 15 engineers, but the way they were set up, they were doing little individual projects. There's like some people were working on 2 or 3 things, different product managers. It was very confusing. So I like to think that one of the most important things you can do quickly is form a team. And a team is a group of people, engineers, QA, product managers, who all share the same goal. Make sure there's not anyone working solo, because if they're working solo, they are likely to burn out because they get stuck with all the work on this thing and don't get to try new things. And equally, if they leave, you lose a lot of information. So make sure you have teams that are partnering up, that are working well with each other, and really focus on being able to describe, what does this team do? This team, in one sentence, what do they own? What is success for them? Because once you have that, it takes a lot of time off of your plate. You don't have to spend a lot of time talking to each engineer about what is the goal, what is success. You can have the team. This is what you're all doing, and they can self-enforce that. And so trying to make sure you have then the mixture of people on that team to make them able to succeed. So have, you know, like one senior engineer, a couple of mid-level engineers, a few junior engineers that are learning, so they can all be learning and sharing information with each other and growing. And so having that sort of shape of the right blend of seniority to achieve the goal together, I think is really important, because communication is some of the big, you know, the most expensive time you spend is making sure people are aligned. And if you can do that, in broader strokes and let the teams figure out the details, fill it in, you have more time to scale yourself.
And thank you so much for your time for this interview. See you soon.